What's up, guys? We're finally back with the part 2 on my abandoned Cadillac limo here. If you haven't watched the first video, go check it out. Basically I got this thing from where it had been sitting in a forest here in Colorado for the past 8 years or so, I think. And it still runs, but it's got some problems and got some water damage in the back that we'll have to get into fixing. So yeah, in this video, we're going to go ahead and address some of the wiring under the hood that the mice have chewed. There's a plug to the MAF sensor and a few other sensors, things like that have got to be fixed. So we'll go ahead and do that. There's some vacuum lines to fix, and then I got a new throttle cable I got to put in there. And both pedals are still rusted. They don't want to return back once you press them down. So I got to pull the pedals apart and clean the bushings in there and see if we can get those working. And if that all goes well, we may even get into getting some of the mold off of the back seat there. So we'll go ahead and jump right into it. So I have actually already gone and fixed the wiring on this thing. I did it the other day, but my microphone wasn't working for most of the footage, so you can't really hear what I'm doing. So I'll go ahead and put in, whatever footage I can salvage from that. But first things first, this thing is pretty much out of fuel, so I just went and got some. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw 5 gallons in here. Pretty fancy. Every time I have something sitting like this, I always put in a couple gallons, and then I like to just go and look at the fill tube there going into the tank, make sure it's not dripping. And hard to tell when we're on grass like this, but I don't see anything dripping underneath, so that's always a good sign. Now this thing's not very old, and I'm pretty confident it's not going to leak. But on something older, I'd throw a few gallons in there and park it on some concrete, let it sit for 20-30 minutes, watch it, make sure all the gas isn't going to leak out, because why fill it up if I'm going to have to drop the tank to fix it? So, but this thing should be just fine. Well, now the wiring's fixed. I got the new plug on the MAF sensor, or the new wiring going into the plug. That's all spliced in. New plug there, and the new plug here. That's all taken care of. This is what we got vacuum line wise. Best I can figure out, this was a T, and that used to attach somewhere like that. So I'm going to put a new T on that. I'm assuming this used to cross over to here, down into this some kind of heater control valve. So that's going to get a new line from there to there. And the only other mystery is there's something that plugs in right there, and I can't seem to find any other broken lines anywhere. So if you guys see anything in the video, point it out, let me know. If not, I'll have to find a vacuum diagram for this thing. So we'll just fix those super quick. So I got all my miscellaneous vacuum hoses and connectors, and I think this is nothing real interesting, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into a time lapse to get these fixed. But let me know what you guys think. If you like the time lapses with the music in the background, I actually, make and produce all the music myself. So let me know if you're into that, or if you like watching it in real time and watching me work and listen to me talk and all that stuff. But for now, we'll just knock this out real quick. Got the new T on there, spliced this new line in with just a regular straight barb fitting, and I just put a cap on that one for now so nothing gets in there while I'm trying to figure out where the heck that thing is. And I actually bought the wrong throttle cable, so I'm going to leave that for now and just see if I can clean up these rusty frozen pedals. I already have the cover off of here, and you can see just how rusty everything is on this brake pedal, and pretty rusty there on the throttle pedal. And I've had these return springs on that I put on just so I could drive this thing home. But I'll show you when I take that off and put this down. See, it gets stuck about halfway there. So I'm going to pop that clip off and slide the whole pedal out of there and see if I can clean it up. And I'm sure you can see how rusty that is and on the side. So let me go grab some sandpaper and a brush and some stuff to clean this up, and we'll get it back together. Alright, I got this thing cleaned up with some emery cloth and a wire brush and put back together, and I lubed it up with this ancient can of liquid wrench dry lubricant that I actually found in my Subaru Brat in my last video, and it worked pretty good, really. And you can see it works perfect now. Pops right back. So we're going to start it up, make sure that it is fixed. Looks like we got over a half tank now. I only put 5 gallons in, but let's not have that big a tank. Sweet. Yep, I would say that that's fixed. And actually, since I did fix the wiring on the MAF sensor and those other sensors and the vacuum line, and now this thing runs great. Idles so much better. And it doesn't drop as low RPM when I put it into gear. Yeah, really happy with that. So now I'll see what I can do about this brake here. So I was actually unable to do the brake pedal. It doesn't have a pin that slides out like the accelerator pedal did. It's part of this whole cage assembly that bolts onto the back of the master cylinder. And I really don't feel like doing all that right now. So I just sprayed some WD-40 way up in there and left the spring on, and it is much better being lubed up. And I'm hoping that I'll just keep spraying it and it'll work its way in there and clear itself up. But for now it's working, and the throttle's working real nice. So we're going to move this thing around and make our way to cleaning the back seat and maybe getting the trunk open. Well, I'm going to leave this thing running and hopefully, let it get hot, burn some cobwebs out of it. And I'm going to go ahead and start pulling out these seats and these rear door panels, and I'll just set up a time lapse, let you guys watch. So I have got the back seats out as best as I can. Really found out these front seats here are really not meant to come out very easily. They're actually made of plywood on the bottom. The top one's bolted in from behind, and there's really nowhere way I can easily get the bolts. But I can look back in their flashlight back up in here and see that it's clean, so I'm going to leave those in. You can see back in here, just lots of mouse evidence. You see how humid it was in this thing. His seatbelts just rusted like that. But everything looked pretty good. The floor feels solid. The carpet's glued down, so I haven't pulled that up yet. That's where the condenser is for the AC unit. It's definitely been pretty wet in here and lots of mice, so that'll all need to be cleaned, but not too bad. This one trim piece around here wasn't even attached, so I pulled that off, and another one here that didn't look very good, it just pulled right out. And of course the back seat pulled up, and then the back part of the back seat was put up quite a bit of fight. These bolts are super rusty down here, but I got those out. I'll get this all cleaned up. And unfortunately, the trunk access right here is blocked off by a subwoofer and an amp. So I don't know if you can see, but that's a box right there for a subwoofer. So there is no way for me to get into the trunk from in there. So still got to figure out how to get this trunk open. Now, I'm not sure that everybody really understood what I was saying in my last video when I said the trunk is rusted shut, and I asked for tips on how to get the trunk open. I know that the key opens the trunk. Obviously, I can figure that one out. And you turn it, and it doesn't do anything. And I don't think you can hear, but there's a click, because this key really just pushes a button that activates a servo that unlatches it. And the servo is rusted shut, so that doesn't work. Same with the trunk release button on the key fob. And then everybody's saying, oh, there's a trunk release button up front. I am aware of that as well. Like I said, I don't think you can hear this click, but it just clicks. Because it's trying to unlock, but it's rusted. And everybody says check the glove box. There's nothing in the glove box. It's just a valet lock that actually keeps you from opening the trunk. And when you put that on, there's no click. And there's nothing else in here. So that's my dilemma with the trunk, is that it's physically rusted shut. And I was really banking on getting to it through the back seat and unbolting the latch mechanism. But that's no longer an option. So if anybody's got any ideas, let me know. You can lift this thing up and barely see into the trunk, but it actually just shows you, just right behind that amp. So it doesn't really, not enough room to get anything in there, and I'm not going to risk dropping my phone in there. So yeah. But yeah, you can see just what the humidity did to this thing. It's crazy. The sheet metal's all solid, but anything that was bare, like these fasteners, is rusted. Lots of mouse evidence and stuff like that. So I'll get all this vacuumed out, and I actually have a carpet shampooer kind of thing I'm going to have to bring here and clean all this carpet up. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get these door panels off. So I've got all the seats out here and the door panels. Start off, here's the back rest of the back seat. It didn't look too bad in the car, but now that it's out, definitely some stuff on the sides I couldn't have got if I left it in there. So glad I pulled that out. Look down in here, and there's a little friend in there. So I'll definitely get him vacuumed out. And nothing on this side, but worthwhile taking this thing out to clean it. Here's the bottom half of the bench seat, which also didn't look too bad. But this is all the part that you wouldn't be able to clean if you didn't take it out. So definitely worth doing. Looks like there's some glitter in there. It's always pretty exciting in a limo. See if I can get it to focus here. Yep, so we'll get that one cleaned. And same with the door panels here. We'll see how well these things clean up. Now this is the bottom half of the back seat. And if you notice, I've already cleaned it. And it cleaned up actually really well. I have some shots I'll put in there of a before and after. But just wanted to test it out and make sure it would work. And I tested a little section of the door just to see if that stuff comes off of there. And it does. So what I got going on here is a 3-to-1 mix of water and bleach. And I spray that on there to kill the mold, let it sit and scrub it in, and then wipe it off and let it totally dry down, because I don't want to mix anything with it, accidentally make mustard gas or something. And then I use just some water and simple green aviation degreaser there. That stuff works really well to really get it clean, and then to wipe all that stuff away and make sure it's nice and clean. Some of this 409 cleaner works really well. So I'm going to go ahead and get all these wiped down and clean. Well, so I got most of these seats clean, not all of them, and I haven't done the door panels yet, but it's starting to get pretty dark, just about out of daylight, and I'm just about out of time for this weekend. So probably going to call it for the day and go get something to eat for dinner. But anyways, this is where we're at now. It's running and driving good, and we got the seats pulled out of there. So I'm going to finish cleaning those seats up over there, clean up the door panels and bleach everything. And in the next video, I'm going to remove the front seats, do the same treatment to those. So I'll pull these out, and then I'm going to go ahead and steam clean and shampoo and clean the carpets up front once those seats are out, and then do the whole carpet in the back and steam clean this whole back carpet here. So I'll get that all done, get this seat cleaned, and get the rest of this interior stuff bleached and cleaned as well, and clean all back behind here, get those seats put back in, and then I'll be looking at putting new tires on this thing, because once that's done, I'll feel pretty good to drive it, and I'm going to drive it someplace and have a new vinyl top put on. So definitely stay tuned for that. Hopefully we should be driving this thing in the next episode. So that's the plan. and hopefully I'll get the trunk open in the next one too. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I'll be having a video out again next weekend maybe. Let me know in the comments if you know, if you want to see the part 3 on this thing, or if you'd rather see the part 2 on that Subaru Brett there. If you've just watched my latest video, you'll know what's going on with that. So I'll be working on these two, and yep, we'll see you guys in the next one.